Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you, always is. I hope you're doing well. We have reached the final over in the US Open, and what a final we have got in store for us today. In my opinion, it does not get any better than this. Make sure you get your comments in with your predictions. Anything that I'm going for personally will be in that pinned comments. Feel free to take a look at that. You're more than welcome to. But like the video, if you be so kind, get yourself subscribed to the channel. If you're not already, we do continue to grow each and every day. It'll be an honour to welcome you to the squad, so get yourself involved. And now all that is out the way, quick recap. Time for the recap. How have we been? We had a day off. How have we all been? Are we all good? Yes or no? Did we enjoy the WTA final? Sabalenka squad cashed me that outright. Very, very happy about that. Decent match. Decent match indeed. But we've got one more. It is all to play for today. It is all to play for. It all comes down to this. The heat is on. The stakes could not be higher. Who's it going to be? We'll waste no more time with it, folks. Let's get right into business. Let's get it. Very well, folks. I suppose it all comes down to this one today. Does it not? No surprise to me. No surprise to you. Not only is this the final that we'd expected from the get-go, but you have to admit it's most definitely the final that we well and truly deserve. Absolutely. These are the best in the business. Number one against the number two. I don't think the rankings do it justice. I feel like the pair of these operate at a number one level. Apart from that, you've just got the rest of them fighting amongst themselves to see who is the best of the rest. No one comes close to Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. Look, these are no stranger to one another. You should be getting used to seeing this by now when the heat is on, when it's all to play for. I'm not surprised we've got Sinner and Alcaraz. Not surprised at all. But you should know the Highlander code by now. There can only be one. There can only be one. So who's it going to be? Look, 16 times these have played each other. 16 times before, head to head is 10-6 to Carlos Alcaraz. Look, apart from the clay, as pretty much, I'd say the majority, if not all, the success when it comes to clay court tennis against Jannik Sinner. But then, in the quicker surfaces, more importantly the grass, and then the hard court like we're on today, it seems to be a bit more split down the middle. Sinner seems to have the edge over on the grass. Played each other twice in Wimbledon. He's won both of them. Alcaraz, like I said, he's won pretty much every game on the clay. And then on the hard court, it's give or take. It's give or take. Now, straight off the bat, you may or may not agree. You probably would agree. I would say the hard courts, especially given the conditions over here in the US Open, these are quite slick surfaces. This is Sinner. It's the Sinner realm, innit? This is the Jannik Sinner surface, in my opinion. Now, I do believe that Carlos Alcaraz is the only person able to do anything against Jannik Sinner on the hard court. I truly believe that. Given what I know, I would say Sinner probably is the better of the two. Given the surface, 18-1 so far on the hard court, he has missed a massive chunk of the season due to, whatever. It is what it is. It's none of my business. But he missed a really big chunk of that. 11-2 on the clay. The only person that beat him twice was yours truly, that's right. And then 18-1 the hard court. The only loss coming to Carlos Alcaraz in Cincinnati because he had to pull out injured. So yeah, can't really take much away from that. Just looking at it, food for thought. Pretty much, Jannik Sinner hasn't beat Carlos Alcaraz on the hard court since Beijing 2023. Beat him indoors, Riyadh exhibition, but then apart from that, he's only beat him at Wimbledon. Alcaraz beat him French Open, Rome, that's right. Alcaraz beat him in Beijing as well, 2024, and then French Open again, 2024, Indian Wells, 2024, and then Sinner got one, 2023 in Beijing. So if I say what I see, if you see it, say it. I'd say Alcaraz is kind of, he's having the majority of success at the moment. The Wimbledon matchup, well, the recent one anyway, was quite a convincing win for the Italian. Given what I've seen so far over in the US Open, look, I think Carlos Alcaraz has been flawless. I really do. I don't think he's put a foot wrong. I think he's lost his serve, twice, is it? About 2 times? Unbelievable. I do think he's looked the better of the two. Maybe it's not saying much because Jannik Sinner's looked unbelievable as well, but if I have to compare the results and just what I've seen, given the eye test, which is probably most important, I would definitely have to say I think I've been a bit more impressed with the Spaniard over in the US Open. He's looked flawless. He's looked unbelievable. Hasn't put a foot wrong. 22-4 on the hard court. It's still good. Maybe not as good as 18-1, but 22-4 is pretty much as good as it gets, really. I mean, some of the losses, pretty much all them losses, come earlier on the season as well. Djokovic quarterfinals in the Australian Open. It's alright, I'll give him that. Yuri Lehechka, I mean, he was a 1.2 favourite to get that one done in Doha, but it was a decent match, and we know Yuri Lehechka was playing at a much higher level back then. So it is what it is. And then the loss to Jack Draper, 1.3 as a favourite to get that done. But Jack Draper was just smoking everyone. It is what it is. High level matches. The one that'll always stand out to me, and I've kind of forgotten about it, but I'm looking at it right now. The one to David Goffin in Miami. Unbelievable. Even at this point in the season, I still can't believe that happened. Unbelievable. Took the first set 7-5 and then ended up getting beat 6-4, 6-3. Probably doesn't mean anything. Absolutely nothing. Excuse me. Coming into this one today. I just thought I'd mention it because, like, why not? It's fucking David Goffin beating Carlos Alcaraz, you know what I mean? 14-1 dog. Didn't see that one coming. But pretty much ever since, no one's been able to do anything. No one's been able to do anything. He got beat by David Goffin. That must have been the straw that broke the camel's back. Holger Rune beat him in the final in Barcelona. Didn't see that one coming, but Holger Rune played really good. And ever since that, he's took the title in Rome, took the French Open, took Queens, got to the final in Wimbledon, took the Cincinnati title, and he hasn't dropped a set. Over in the US Open, he finds himself going for yet another slam title. This will put them at 2 apiece if Alcaraz wins this. This will put them at 2 apiece for the slams this season, I suppose. Look, there's a lot to play for in this one. Not only is it all on the line, we're playing for the winner, to the victor goes the spoils. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the world number one, the number one ranking may or may not come into play in this matchup today. And look, going off what I've seen this season, I wouldn't be surprised to see Carlos Alcaraz win this. He really has been playing like the world number one this season. Maybe it's because I've seen more of him. 60-6 compared to 37-4. Once again, he did miss a chunk of the season, but 60-6, man. I mean, if that's not world number one worthy, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Like we said, on the hard court, it's very give or take. He looked a little bit more shaky than Jannik Sinner earlier on in the season, but what happened. Since coming back, since returning to the surface after the grass campaign, I think Carlos Alcaraz has looked pretty much unstoppable. Pretty much unstoppable. It looks next to impossible to do anything against this lad. Anything against them. Now, Jannik Sinner, if it's going to be anyone, it will be Jannik Sinner. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, it's so tough. It's so tough. The odds are somewhat split down the middle. You get an Alcaraz as a dog. Slight dog, 2.1, just over even money. I imagine that is going to be more than tempting to many folk out there. But Jannik Sinner at 1.8, you never get him at prices like that, so that's probably just as tempting too, given the surface and given the circumstances. Look, I mean, Apelka, Bellucci, Darderi, Rinderknech, Lehechka, Djokovic, neither one have stood the chance. Some matches have been a little bit closer than others. We've had a tiebreak here and there. But for the most part, Carlos Alcaraz has been in full control of all these games. Like I say, he hasn't dropped a set. Hardly looked like dropping a set. Even when it's looked like he just may drop a set due to a tiebreak, he just doesn't. He's been too solid, too much for anyone. Still hasn't dropped a set since that game against Rublev in Cincinnati. We'll mention that for the last time in the US Open. And hasn't looked like dropping one, like I said. Barely dropped serve. Dropped the serve twice. Jannik Sinner, I'd say he's been equally as impressive. The level has been super high, as it usually is, especially in a spot like this, given the slam. Vic Capriva, Popperin, stood no chance. El Chapo, Bublik, Musetti, Felix, pretty much stood no chance, although El Chapo, give him a good go, took a set, and then Felix, give him a pretty good go as well, took a set. I would have to assume if Chapo and Felix can take a set, then Alcaraz can take one as well. Maybe more than one. Am I remembering correctly? Did Jannik Sinner take that medical timeout against Felix as well? Did I dream that? That happened, right? He did take a medical timeout. Look, it didn't make much of a difference to the result at the end of the day. Given this point in the final, especially going up against Alcaraz, it may come into play. Fitness may come into play in this. We've seen how poor he looked last time. He weren't fit enough to play against Alcaraz last time in Cincinnati. I'm not saying that's going to happen again. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty certain that is not going to be the case in this one. But would it be safe to assume, given what we've seen, maybe Alcaraz is just in a little bit better shape? Maybe Jannik Sinner, just maybe, he's a little bit worse for wear. After the game against Felix, medical timeout, dropping a set. I don't know, it's just food for thought. Say he is a favourite coming into this, he is defending his title. There's a lot to play for, there's a lot on the line. Who are you going for? That is my question. Who are you going for? Because I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Me, I feel like my head would just say, it's Jannik Sinner. Given the surface, given what you've seen, hard court, I would probably always side with Jannik Sinner. Now, whether that would always go in my favour, it's up to them. It is what it is. But prior to the matchup, especially in the US Open in the final, I probably would, more often than not, always just side with Jannik Sinner, just given what I've seen and what I know. But Alcaraz, I mean, like the signs are pointing towards them, aren't he? He hasn't dropped a set. Chapeau and Felix. Chapeau and Felix, man. I mean, on any given day, this is what kills me about the likes of these. I mean, on any given day, pretty much all season round, you struggle. You're very hesitant and very nervous to go anywhere near the likes of a Chapeau or Felix. If they were coming up against, like, I don't know, for instance, like a Daniel Altmaier or someone like that, you'd be going, oh my god, I don't know. But then they turn up to the US Open and they start taking sets off the world number one. It's like, where'd you draw the line? Where'd you draw the line with El Chapo and Felix, man? I'm not too sure. Um, Look, with that being said, these are, on the day, some of the better players on the tour as well. It's just they really struggle to maintain the consistency. So, maybe it's to be expected. But I don't know. Sinner's pretty much fucked everyone up. Alcaraz has just blasted everyone. No one stood a chance. But like I said, people have just made it a little bit closer than others. Given what I've seen in the US Open, I'd probably go with Alcaraz. Me heart's saying Alcaraz in this one, but me head's saying Jannik Sinner. You can see the battle that I'm having. I am very torn between the two. I'm very conflicted on this. As always, in a US Open final, as always, in a Grand Slam final, pretty much as always, when faced with a matchup, including the players that we've got. Jannik Sinner, Carlos Alcaraz. Never much to split the two. If one of them's going to turn up and just run away with it, then so be it. We'll get more chances. We'll get this matchup again and again and again. It is what it is. I would just always have to assume it's going to be a close one. I would have to expect a close, competitive matchup with it being a Grand Slam final, including these two as well. If it was either one facing anyone else, it'd probably just be 1, 2, 3 and done. But I'd like to think we could be in for a close one. 3-1 at the minimum. 3-1 at the minimum. I can't see that happening. But then again, I mean, given the way each one's playing, what you'd have to do is take a set off Carlos Alcaraz. Because people have been doing it against Sinner and he's been playing out of his skin. Carlos Alcaraz, since we've come back to this hard court, man, looks different. He looks different, man. And ever since he's had to shave all his hair off as well, I said it at the start and I'll say it again for the last time in the US Open. Guy means business. No hair. Don't care. This is the case more often than not in sports. People do stuff like this. They just come out and turn into an absolute monster. Skinhead Alcaraz has destroyed everybody. Destroyed everybody. He's given no one a chance. No one has stood a chance against them. Whereas people, I'm not going to say Chapo or Felix stood a chance against Jannik Sinner. Certainly not Musetti or Bublik or the rest of them. But people have been getting at him. People have been getting at him. And the game against Felix was probably a little bit longer than he would have liked. Maybe a bit longer than I would have expected given what we've seen in that matchup last time out. But Felix has been playing good in the US Open. And I think he continued to play good against Jannik Sinner. But unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do against this guy. Medical timeout, dropped the set. Maybe just lean with Alcaraz in this. I don't know. I feel silly. I don't feel silly going with Alcaraz. I really do believe Jannik Sinner would be the pick for me. But I couldn't talk it off either one. I suppose that's what I've been reduced to. I'm not too sure on this one. I managed to cash Sabalenka on the outright last night. I'm very happy about that. I don't need to force anything for this. What a match to see us off, though. What a match to see us off. We've got a couple of weeks off after this, and I cannot wait for that. It's been a very long season. See, we can go out with a bang. What's that total? 40 and a half? If it's 39 and a half, 40 and a half, I would like to assume it could go over. We may get a couple of breaks to serve in this, but I don't think the price would be right for me. I'd lean towards an over. And fuck it. You know what? Since it's the last one of the US Open, I'm going to go with, it seemed it's weird because even though Jannik Sinner's a favourite and even though he's the defending champion, it'd kind of feel like he'd pull off a bit of an upset in this one against this version of Alcaraz. I don't know, and he is still a favourite. Very conflicted, very conflicted. I'll have to just pick a side. I will have to pick a side, make a prediction for what it's worth. I just have to bite the bullet and just go with Jannik Sinner on this one. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going with Carlos Alcaraz. Final answer, Chris. That's it. Final answer. I'm going to go with Alcaraz for once. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. And if I go with Jannik Sinner based on what I've seen in the past and he turns up and Alcaraz does exactly what he's done all week, I'll sit here and go, am I surprised? Absolutely not. So I suppose my pick's Carlos Alcaraz today, folks, for those that care. Am I going to bet it? You know what, I might do. I might do. Why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? Plus money for Alcaraz, given what we've seen in the US Open. See, it seems too good to be true for me. It seems a bit too good to be true. If anyone's going to beat him, it's going to be Jannik Sinner. He hasn't dropped a set, and if this is going to be the match where it all comes crumbling down and Carlos Alcaraz cannot beat the world number one, then so be it. But given the state that he's in, I'd like to have a roll in the dice and hope that Alcaraz can maintain the level. And we know how Alcaraz is, we know what he can do. Not only does he maintain this level, but when the heat is on, when it means it the most, he can raise a level as well. And if he's going to find another level above the one he's currently operating at, I think it's going to be a bad day for Jannik Sinner. It could be a hard time. It could be. But I don't know. Like I say, it's not wise to go against the world number one. You're going to have to pick your poison, pay your money, and take your choice. Very well then, folks. One last time for the US Open. That shall do us. It's been an absolute pleasure. It always is. I appreciate the time that we get to spend with each other. You know that I do. Well, thanks for watching the show. Appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you like and subscribe before you go, and I appreciate that too. But until next time, folks, take it easy, yeah? Take care of yourselves, most importantly. Take care of one another. Best of luck with the final, however you decide to go about your business. And one last thing before you go, if you're still watching, NFL Sunday, that's right, 6 p.m. UK time. All I'm going to be doing is sitting down, chilling, getting ready for 7 hours of uninterrupted football. Can't wait for that. So any picks on the American football today, please do let me know. And I'll see you soon, yeah? All the best and that. I'll see you through the week for the Premier League. I'll hit you with some Premier League around Tuesday or Wednesday. So see you very soon, folks. All the best. Take it easy. Enjoy the matches today. See you in a bit.